Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night. These are the instructions for assignment 2.4, section 2 of our first chapter. You'll find I'm going to go through this a little faster. If you need a more detailed explanation, you can always go back and look at the instructions for assignment 2.1, or you can just find them on my YouTube channel. And yeah, because the bones of this are very similar to assignment 2.2. Okay, so today we're going to look at forgiveness. So acceptance and forgiveness. So we start off, show me that you know what we mean here, and I'm using Brackley as our guide. So what does Brackley mean by acceptance and forgiveness? And so for me, this is my version of it, right? So I plan out my paragraph, and then I write it over here. Remember, I am not very good at grammar, so I use Grammarly, and I find it really helps. So write it where, if you want to write it right on the screen, if you want to write it in a Google Doc, if you want to write it on something else like Grammarly, knock yourself out. You are free to do that. Then when we move on, so then right, we pick which type of way you like to write a story, either the map or the slide wheel. If you're going to use the map, you're just going to roll right onto the next slide. If you're using the story wheel, you're going to go all the way to slide 13. And then, so we're going to do our brainstorming. When have I accepted forgiveness and acceptance or offered it? When have I failed to do that? Either I've been unforgiven or I've been unforgiving. Then pick the one you like the best. For me, it's a time I picked on a girl. I picked on a girl in middle school. This doesn't have to be some major life crises or the worst thing you've ever done. I'm not your confessor. So you just need to show me that you understand the process and what it means, and to tell me a story about that. So again, if you really want to go deep into the pre-writing for the story map method, these are some great videos. The example from my life so this is my story. Oops, come on. There we go. So the orientation, who the characters are, this girl at recess, the challenge was I got caught making fun of her. I was embarrassed. What actions took place in the story, and how was the story resolved? And then if you're going to use this version, you would plan your story right here, and then you would draft it here. And again, remember that the text will shrink, so just type away, and you can clean it up, adjust the fonts, all that kind of stuff later. Then, if you're done, you'd go on to slide 19 and do your acceptance on that slide, and then you'd finish up to explain why this story that you just told me fits with the idea of acceptance. Or if you like the story wheel, you would have jumped to this slide. And again, this is Dan Harmon explaining the story wheel. He calls it the story circle, 6 of one, half a dozen of another, meaning they both mean the same thing, a wheel and a circle So again, brainstorm. When have you experienced it or offered forgiveness or acceptance, and when have you not? Pick the one that is going to make the best story or is the easiest to tell. Then again, our story circle. So it's you or whomever the protagonist is. Maybe you want to tell this story from the point of view of someone else, and you're the person then that offers forgiveness, or you're right, you could be a minor character. Think of like Nick in The Great Gatsby, right? The narrator's not the main character. So the main character has a need. They go try to fulfill that need. They encounter some roadblocks and trials as they search for that thing. They finally find it. It may be the thing they want or not, and which requires paying a price. They then return with this thing, or they've rejected it and realize it's not what they want, and they come back to the beginning changed. So for me, again, tiny little story about about me in middle school. So again, not the most dramatic. Same story I used before. I'm at the peak of my popularity in middle school. I want to be cool. It's my need. I target a girl. We make fun of her by drawing a picture and making fun of her name. One of my friends then, so I get the thing that I wanted to, show that I was cool and better. It turns out to be bad for me and that I don't want it. So then the take is realizing I have to make amends. Coming back is my attempt to do that. And eventually it takes about a year, but we eventually make up. And she forgives me. So if you want to use the story circle, here's your version of the story circle, and you'd chart it here. You'd write up your story on this slide. And then now we're at show how your experience connects. So if you're rejoining us from the story map, you would come to this slide, or if you did the story circular wheel, you would just click here, and then finally you are done. So if this is too fast, if you need more detailed information, or you want to see me type through and think it through stuff, remember you can always go back and look at the instructions from assignment 2.2. Hope this is helpful, and you can always come and see me if you have any questions.